Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the City of Aiken and Aiken Corporation, welcome to the dedication of the Tom Young Center for Research and Innovation. My name is Megan Pruitt. I'm the Executive Director of Aiken Corporation, and it's my honor to serve as your Master of Ceremonies for today. Thank you all for joining us to commemorate a truly significant, a truly significant milestone in our community. To begin today's ceremony, I would like to invite Pastor Erde from First Presbyterian Church to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and an opening prayer. All right, we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. And thank you for the opportunity to be part of this wonderful day in the community of Aiken. Let us pray. God of all, we know you by many names and understand you in many ways. But today, together, we gather to ask your blessing upon this, the Tom Young Center for Research and Innovation. Let this be a space of inspiration, collaboration, and learning. Let it be a catalyst for scientific advancement in what we know and for the wisdom necessary to guide how we use that knowledge. Let this be a place where connections are made, partnerships established, and friendships formed. And may those new relationships bear fruit and nurture the good health of our community. Let this place be a gathering space where the well-being of all our neighbors is held in the highest regard. A place where our coming together is imbued with trust, respect, and mutual forbearance. Where working for the benefit of all is the first principle. Lord, bless those whose efforts brought this place into being: the City of Aiken, the Aiken Corporation, the Savannah River National Laboratory, USCA, the architects, the contractors, the builders. And bless all who will enter the Tom Young Center for Research and Innovation, that they would be inspired to use it well. In your most holy name we pray. Amen.
The dedication of the Tom Young Center for Research and Innovation marks an exciting new chapter in our community. This project represents far more than just a building. It represents years of planning, partnership, and an investment in Aiken's future. It reflects what can be accomplished when organizations come together around a shared vision for innovation, collaboration, workforce development, and economic growth. To help you tell that story, we'd like to begin with sharing a brief video highlighting the vision behind this project and what it will mean for the future of our community.
Every community has defining moments. Moments where vision become reality. Moments when a city declares where it's headed next. For generations, Aiken has been known for its charm, its character, its resilience, and its unmistakable sense of place. But today, Aiken turns the page. What began as an idea became a bold vision. Not simply to construct a building, but to create something transformational. A destination in the heart of downtown, where innovation, collaboration, and opportunity could converge. A place intentionally designed to strengthen our economy, energize our business community, and create momentum for generations to come. Then, transformation began. Steel, concrete, planning, partnership, progress. What only lived once in conversations and renderings began rising into reality. Day by a new symbol for Aiken took shape. But this is more than architecture, more than square footage, more than the walls and windows. This is infrastructure for innovation. A place designed for connection, built for collaboration, created to bring people together for ideas, industries, and opportunity. The Tom Young Center for Research and Innovation is already becoming home to organizations help shaping our future. Savannah River National Laboratory will establish a dynamic downtown presence, extending world-class research and innovation into the heart of our community. The University of South Carolina Aiken will activate the Aiken Energy and Innovation Exchange, creating new pathways for collaboration, emerging industry engagement, and workforce innovation. Together, these partners transform this building into something far greater than a facility. They create an ecosystem where research meets business, where education meets industry, and where innovation becomes action.
Thank you. The story you've just seen is a testament to the power of partnership, vision, and perseverance. The Tom Young Center for Research and Innovation will serve as a catalyst for collaboration and much more. One of the people who helped transform that vision to make it a reality is our city manager, Stuart Beatenbow. Throughout this project, Stuart has provided leadership and oversight that helped move this facility from concept to completion. Please join me in welcoming City Manager Stuart Beatenbow.
Thank you. Good morning. Today we celebrate the promise of the future, but we also honor our past. This beautiful facade of this building, I believe, epitomizes the appearance and scale of our downtown, and also outside the natural beauty with the enhancements we've made in our parkway. This, I believe, is part of the soul of the essence of Aiken. But inside this building, you have research and innovation that Aiken is known for, whether it's the Savannah River site over the last 75 years, research done at University of South Carolina at Aiken, a renowned regional campus, and continued innovation done by the City of Aiken, as epitomized by 22 Municipal Achievement Awards since 1990, including 3 over the last 4 years. As we move into this new era, or natural evolution, if you will, this will be a key part of a downtown revitalization that will include 2 new hotels and a parking deck. And we will also continue to hold many of the traditions we hold dear. Thank you for being here today, and I'm going to now introduce our Mayor, Teddy Milner.
Good morning, everybody. This is a wonderful day. Welcome to the Tom Young Center for Research and Innovation. Or, since the government has acronyms for everything, I have learned, it might be the TICRE. Well, I'll call it Tom Young Building. What a positive moment for our city. We may be smaller than Columbia, Greenville, or Charleston, but please look at us, Governor McMaster. You have a lot to be proud of here at in our city, in this fantastic building that will house one of only 17 national labs in the entire country. Thank you, Governor, for being here. I would like to start by expressing my gratitude to those who made it possible for this celebration. On behalf of Aiken City Council, we extend our thanks to Senator Tom Young and his colleagues in the General Assembly for believing in the city of Aiken. Thank you for your tireless support to ensure our charming city continues to be vibrant. We try not to ask too much of them, but when we do, they are always supportive and partnering with us in our city government. This is icing on the cake for this impressive building, in my opinion, to be named in honor of Senator Tom Young. We know his mother and knew his dad, and they would be so proud. As a longtime downtown business owner in Aiken and resident myself, I could not be more pleased with the location of this building. When we were first discussing it, I heard proposals of it being near the alley, and I was worried. When this location was confirmed, I was beyond pleased. The spot could not be better, close enough to downtown to support our businesses, but with enough space for beautiful landscaping and parking. We had incredible support from the neighbors, some of whom are here today, from the townhomes next door, right over there, and of course Buzz Rich, thank you, as well as the churches, especially First Presbyterian, First Baptist, and their congregations. Thank you for being such wonderful neighbors during the construction of this project. I am grateful to my colleagues on City Council, past and present members, for their vision and persistence in making this building move from just an idea to a reality. From advocating for the initial funding to choosing a location to this ceremony today, my City Council members are to be commended for their efforts to ensure this new construction blended into our beautiful historic downtown while adding economic vitality to Aiken. Now I want to gratefully acknowledge the team that worked on this project. The project manager, Mark Kosser, kept us informed and moved the construction along so well. Ahead of schedule and under budget. When I came into mayorship, I learned that fast, as Mark does projects, under budget and on time. That is his always. Thank you. The architects from Cheatham, Fletcher, and Scott, who are so open to feedback from staff, the Design Review Board, and Historic Aiken Foundation. We had countless versions of this building until we settled on this one. That is just perfect. Look at these ceilings. That is really neat. The general contractors, Allen Batchelor, ran an impeccable construction project from the initial planning to this ceremony. We could not have had a better team in place to make this building a reality. I speak for all of council when I say thank you to the hardworking city staff who seem to be on call for us in every way at every hour. We all love our jobs, and that is what makes this so special to team up for success. Downtown Aiken is a wonderful place as it is, but we do have some areas for improvement. I see the successful completion of this building as the first step to revitalizing the parts of downtown that need it. Hooray! Let us respect our historic fabric while encouraging innovation and economic development. We honor our history, but we need to plan for the future, always. I have hope for the future of Aiken and our next downtown construction projects. We are headed in a great direction. Just wait and see. We on Aiken City Council approved a resolution to name this building for Senator Young at our May 11th City Council meeting. I will now take this opportunity to read the resolution and present it to Senator Young. The resolution reads, I should get it out. I can't read that fine print, so I've got my cheat sheet here. Whereas Tom Young Jr. is the son of Aiken, born in our great city to the late Thomas R. Young Sr. and Dellie O. Young. And whereas Tom is a graduate of Aiken High School, where he showed tremendous aptitude for leadership and scholarship. And whereas Tom continued his education at the University of South Carolina, Columbia, where he earned with honors his bachelor's degree and law degree. Whereas while at the University of South Carolina, Tom obtained much recognition for his leadership and academic achievements, including recognition as a Carolina Scholar, elected by his classmates as president of the student body, a recipient of the Algernon Sidney Sullivan Award as most outstanding graduate in his class. And whereas after completing law school, Tom embarked on a successful law career in the firm of Young and Thurman. And whereas Tom is a faithful husband to Heather and father to Haley and Ashley. And whereas Tom ably serves the city of Aiken and surrounding areas in the General Assembly as the Senator for District 24 and Chairman of the Aiken County Legislative Delegation. Now, therefore, I, Teddy Milner, Mayor, and the Council of the City of Aiken, do hereby name that building. The building housing offices for USC Aiken, Savannah River National Laboratory, and Aiken Corporation, the Tom Young Center for Research and Innovation. It is my great pleasure to introduce Senator Tom Young. Thank you.
Good morning. Those of you that know me know that I don't really like a lot of attention. And it was pretty uncomfortable there just for those few seconds while the mayor was reading all that. But anyway, I want to thank you all for being here on this great day in Aiken County and our state. I am truly humbled and grateful to the City Council for this very surprising and extraordinary honor. This center is not about one person. As I was telling the paper a few weeks ago when they called me about this, it is really the result of a tremendous team effort. And I sincerely thank Governor McMaster and our legislative delegation, our local elected officials, and community leaders who worked together for more than 2 years to secure the funding for this project and the many others across Aiken County and the central Savannah River area that will serve future generations and help drive opportunity, learning, and innovation in our state. The first thing I would like to do is I would be remiss if I did not take a few moments to recall and share the tremendous efforts of our legislative delegation who worked incredibly hard for 2 years to secure a portion of the SRS settlement funds for Aiken County and our region. The legislative hurdles were many. I look at my colleagues up here on the front row. The governor knows what I'm talking about. It required a collective team effort on behalf of all the delegation to secure the final allocation of funding 4 years ago in June of 2022. Our work started years before that. We actually started in 2015 when our delegation requested and secured the support of then Governor Haley and our Attorney General Alan Wilson for the state to pursue legal action against the federal government to collect penalties as to the stored plutonium at the Savannah River site. And ultimately that legal action ended in August of 2020 with the announcement of the $600 million settlement with the federal government. The press conference announcing the settlement was not over before my cell phone was blowing up with people calling to suggest where the money should go. Some of those people are in the room today. And they know who they are. And while you would think it would have been easy to convince our legislative colleagues that a majority of the funds should go to Aiken, Barnwell, and Allendale counties, which were most impacted by the stored plutonium and the other factors that went into the settlement, that was not the case. We faced serious legislative headwinds over the course of 2 years before the final allocation of the funds. But Governor McMaster supported us, and he insisted at every opportunity that a large portion of the funds come here to Aiken County and our region. And the same can be said for Attorney General Alan Wilson and Lieutenant Governor Pam Evatt, Congressman Joe Wilson, and both U.S. Senators, Senator Lindsey Graham and Senator Tim Scott. And so ultimately, 4 years ago this month, in June of 2022, our legislative delegation, by working together, was able to secure $169.85 million for transformative infrastructure projects in Aiken County. That is an astounding amount of money to be allocated to one region in one budget cycle. And it's a testament to the hard work of our legislative delegation and all those who work with us in that effort. And we are very confident that those secured funds will have a long-standing positive impact on both Aiken County and our region for decades to come, And this center is just one example of that impact. Now I'd like to take a moment to briefly address the vision for this center. Again, Governor McMaster, to his credit, recommended and insisted that we include this center in our proposed settlement funding project list. Back to the fall of 2020, he said, make sure you include that money for the building to go for the National Lab, the mixed-use building. Make sure you include that money. I remember him saying that over and over again every time I'd see him. And after securing the funding, this center was developed through a collaborative partnership between the City of Aiken and the Aiken Corporation. And it will serve as a central hub where business leaders, innovators, researchers, educators, entrepreneurs, and community organizers can connect, collaborate, and create. In addition, it is planned in part to accommodate the Savannah River National Laboratory. And I want to mention at this time the tremendous support of the retired lab director, Vahid Majidi, who's here, for his support of the vision for this center to advance innovation, economic development, entrepreneurship, workforce collaboration, and community engagement in Aiken County. In short, this center is a generational opportunity to use Aiken's unique assets, the Savannah River site, the Savannah River National Laboratory, and the University of South Carolina at Aiken as anchors for a downtown innovation hub that drives economic growth and connects the public, researchers, entrepreneurs, and business leaders in one collaborative space. Third thing I'd like to do is I want to just briefly reflect on the naming of the building. When Charlie Hartz called me beginning of May and told me that the city planned to name the center after me, I was totally stunned and thought he was joking. And he insisted he wasn't joking. And then he insisted that I had to let him do it. He said that you can't say no. You've got to tell him and then they had another person who I'm close with, who lives in Columbia, call me, Tony Denny. I don't know if Tony's here. I think he was going to try to come. Tony called me and said, the city's thinking about naming the building after you. Are you okay with it? And of course I didn't really know what to say, and I knew it wasn't a joke then when so I got the second call, and he insisted that I allow him to do it. And then I went home and I talked to my wife, Heather, and she said, absolutely, you put so much time and effort into getting that money for them, you need to let them name the building after you. Yeah. But it wasn't just me, it was a team effort. It was a tremendous team effort. But anyway, I still really can't believe this recognition. But in the days leading up to today, I reflected on all the effort that went into getting us to this day, and I am grateful for the privilege and the opportunity that I have been given to serve with our delegation members and to lead our legislative delegation. In not just this effort to secure these funds for this building and the others that are throughout Aiken County, the Career Center at Aiken Technical College for the school district, the downtown laboratory building that will be built in North Augusta. We secured funds to make sure that we keep the lock and dam the way it is and that the way that it's existed in Aiken County since before World War II. We secured funds for a whole host of other things, the nursing building at Aiken Tech, and the list goes on. And all of these will be transformative projects throughout our community to benefit generations. But this particular building and the naming of it really hit home. I attended kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, and high school, all here within 2 miles of this center, 2 miles or less. And my family and I, my daughters Ashley and Haley, and my wife Heather, we have been members of St. John's Methodist Church across the street for 20 years. And my law practice, my law partner's here, Strom Thurman, Jr. It is located about 5 blocks from here, and I've practiced law in Aiken in that same location now for 25 years, since Heather and I came back to this great city and community that so many of us in this room are blessed to call our home. So this investment in downtown Aiken, being connected to my family and me, is particularly meaningful, and we are very humbled and grateful for the City Council doing what they've done. I'm very appreciative. Thank you very much. So now I'm going to thank a lot of folks. There's a lot of people that need to be thanked because this is such a big deal for the city of Aiken and Aiken County, the region, and our state. And first and foremost, my dad would always want to give credit where credit is due. And that starts with thanking God for bringing the right people together at the right time to make something like this possible. I also want to thank my family, Heather and Haley and Ashley. I couldn't do what I do without their support. And my late father and my mother. My mother lives here in downtown and has significant health challenges, but she couldn't be here today, but we told her about it, and I know she's here in spirit. And my brother, Brian, nephew, Granger, and I know my sister-in-law, Casey's here, and my nephew, Knox. I want to thank my family. I'm very appreciative to my law partner, Strom Thurman, and my law firm family. They are here too. Melissa Viola, Mary Lou Helms, Kelly Lynch, and Debbie Truesdale. They are my family at my law firm, and we couldn't do what we do without them. Very grateful for the legislative staff. Jeannie Willis from our legislative delegation office, and Debbie Barth and Quentin Gaddy from my Columbia office. Very, very appreciative for all they do in helping us in working with the citizens of Aiken County. I appreciate Governor McMaster and his longtime support and encouragement. I'm so appreciative to our legislative delegation. Senator Massey, Senator Hutto, Representative Clyburn, Bill Clyburn, Representative Bill Hickson, Representative Charlie Hart, Representative Bill Taylor, and Representative Melissa Aremus. I also want to mention Senator Nikki Setzler, who was real involved. He was still serving in office when we worked on getting these funds, and Representative Bart Blackwell, who's here, and he was also serving in House District 81. And Senator Ryberg is here on the 3rd row, and he has supported at every step of the way since I was able to succeed him after he retired in 2012. And he helped us in convincing our colleagues how important this was to our community. I want to thank Senator Harvey Peeler, Senate President Thomas Alexander, and Speaker Merle Smith for their support in making sure that we received a fair amount of money from the settlement for our community in Aiken County. I thank Aiken City Council, past and current, Mayor Milner, Kay Broll, Gail Diggs, Pete Messina, Leslie Price, Barbara Morgan, Braylon Waldo, and past members Andrea Gregory, Ed Gerardo, Ed Waltz, and the past mayor Rick Osmond, and our current city manager Stuart Beadenbow for all of their help in getting us to where we are today. I thank the Aiken Corporation, Director Megan Pruitt, and the board, including Buzz Rich, Pat Cunning, Sam Erb, and others on the board. The Aiken County Council, including Chairman Bunker, Vice Chairman Siders, and past County Administrator Kay Killian. Greater Aiken Chamber of Commerce Chair David Jameson, retired, and the chamber team. David and I talked many times about this settlement and how we needed to try to secure funds for our region, and he was a great supporter through the process. Will Williams and the Western South Carolina Economic Development Team. I mentioned Tony Denny, a longtime friend and government relations consultant in Columbia. the Savannah River National Laboratory leadership, including Vahid Majidi that I mentioned, current director Johnny Green, and Sharon Mera. I also mentioned the USC Aiken leadership with Dr. Dan Heimerman and Tom Scott. And I want to mention that Dr. Amaritis is here, the president of the university system, and I really appreciate his support and his being here because he knows how important this is to the university and to our state for this facility to be in downtown Aiken. I also thank the project team, including Cheatham, Fletcher, and Scott, Alan Batchelor, and the project manager, Mark Chosner. It came in on time and under budget. And then there are people here who were on my original steering committee when I first ran for office in 2008. And there's several here, and I called them and asked them to come. Everyone that was in town who's still alive came. And I really appreciate them being here. So in closing, South Carolina's motto is Dum Spiro Spero. And what that means is, while I breathe, I hope. And applying that aspiration to today, our collective hope should be that 50 years from now, nobody's going to remember anything about the name on the building, but everyone will see the transformative impact that this center has had on our city, our region, and our state. And that would be the greatest honor of all, and will affirm the collective team effort on behalf of so many people in this room who made a meaningful difference in the lives of others by driving opportunity, learning, and innovation in our city, region, and state. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now it is my privilege and honor to introduce our current governor. He is the longest serving governor in South Carolina history. He is a longtime friend of mine, going way back to when he was the party chairman. I think he got elected to be Republican Party chair in 1993. And I think at the time I was finishing up a term as the college Republican president at USC, along with the student government president, and got to know him very well. But he has been a tremendous supporter of our delegation, of our region, of this project, and everything that we did in securing these funds. With no further ado, Henry McMaster, our governor. Thank you.
What a beautiful day. I really don't know quite where to begin. I'll try to be brief. I see a lot of familiar faces, a lot of happy faces. I got a wife like yours. She tells you what to do. I got to tell you all this story. My wife Peggy's back at the house. We have 2 English bulldogs, and one of them got a hurt toe. So she's taking care of him with a very expensive veterinarian. But I'm a Republican, so I went to the Republican convention. I go to the Republican conventions. Everybody I know is not a Republican, but I am, and that's okay. But back in 2016, I was headed to Cleveland, Ohio, Republican convention. And I called back to Peggy. I got to the big hotel and called back to Peggy and said, baby, I just can't, can you believe this? Here, your husband, Henry, is in Cleveland, Ohio, going to make a nominating speech for Donald Trump for president. You ever see that or dream of that in your wildest dream? She said, boy, I hate to tell you, I never seen you in any of my wildest. This is a beautiful day. It's a beautiful place. It does not get any better than this. And it does not get any better anywhere in this country than it does right here in South Carolina. I've been learning about that. I love history, read it all the time. And the more I read and the more I talk specifically to people who are from somewhere else, they say that this is the best place to be. And they go on and on. And it dawned on me early on that the people are what make the difference. Now, Tom knows this. These men and women from the legislature know this. But when they are considering some place to spend hundreds of millions or billions of dollars, what is the thing that all of them look for? Well, there's taxes, there's a vibrant legislature, actions being taken, there's a great educational system, university and others, but it always ends up, everyone, including just the most recent two, one that was bringing in 1.6 billion and another bringing in 675 million, one in Cherokee, the other in Orangeburg. Both of them, independently, without consolidating the idea, said that it is the people of South Carolina who are unique. Unique. And I've heard that from all of them. I remember I was at the 25th and the 30th anniversary of BMW up in Spartanburg. And I remember the chairman of BMW both times said, and I quote, he said, "I would rather have your hand in mine and your word than a signed contract." You go back to World War II, Mark Clark, 4-star general, later president of the Citadel. He said, and I quote, "There's more patriotism per square inch in this place than any place in the world." You hear those kind of things over and over. And that is why the man that's bringing the biggest candy company in the world into Orangeburg said, South Carolina is unique. The people of this place are unique. So it is an opportunity and an obligation on behalf of all of us, this family we call South Carolina. By the way, you got a beautiful family. I'm proud of y'all. We're all a beautiful family. And as he was saying that we are unique, it occurred to me over and over, probably the millionth time, it is our duty and obligation to see to it that we educate these people and open these doors. And that is what we're doing here. And there was a long road getting here. First the Cold War was over, and then the plutonium, they had to put it somewhere. It ended up in Aiken, at the Savannah River site. And then we had to get it, then we wanted to get it out. You remember it was Governor Hodges who said he would lie down in the street to keep them from bringing it in. But court orders prevailed, and it was. And then they decided to dispense with the MOX facility they'd already spent billions of dollars on and get it out. And I had meetings with Lindsey Graham and Tim Scott, and went up in President Trump's first term and had a blistering conversation with those in charge of getting it out, and they promised it was going to go, and it didn't. So we ended up, as was mentioned, bringing a lawsuit, and it's supposed to all be getting out, but it's not all out yet. So we will have to watch and be sure that happens. But one thing that has happened is the legislature wisely decided to take a lot of that money from that settlement and put it right here. And this facility, this attitude, this adventure, this obligation that we're entering into here is the result of that. We are just getting really started in this state. We have been recognized as the best place in the whole country to do business. But it is up to us to see that our people, these people that these industrialists talk about with such great praise, that they are educated and ready. We cannot miss this opportunity, y'all. So that is why I'm thrilled to see this happening here in Aiken. It's not a more beautiful place in the entire country. So anything that we can do, I think I can speak for the legislature. I believe I can speak for everybody in this room. We want to be Brain Power USA. I remember Dr. Amaritas years ago, someone was opening up a center in conjunction, I think it was Boeing, with the University of South Carolina. We want to have brain power. We have to open the door for these people, and I'm convinced that if we do our part doing that as we're doing here today, then the generations will get better, get stronger and stronger, and our state will thrive and be a beacon and be an example for the rest of the country. So congratulations. I know a lot of work went into getting this done over the years. A lot of brain power went into it. But this is a lovely, lovely thing that you've done. And I'll finish with one quick story if I got another minute. This is about the traveling salesman that was going around the country. Bill Taylor said, Bill, you want to tell it?
You do a much better
job. True story. The traveling salesman going around the country. And when he was out of his hometown, he'd try to find a little church somewhere on Sunday. And so he found one. He was up north somewhere. Sunday, went to a little church, went to the little social hall next to it. And he saw a payphone on the wall that had a little sign up over it. So he went and looked at the sign, and the sign said, "Calls to Heaven, $10. He thought, my goodness, payphone, some of you remember a payphone. He didn't have $10 in change in his pocket. So he couldn't make the call. Well, he went to another place and saw it again. Another state, another town, another Sunday. There it was in the little social hall. Calls to Heaven, $10. So he started looking as he'd go around the country. Finally came to South Carolina. And sure enough, in the little social hall next to the church, there was a sign. And he went over to look at it. It said, "Calls to Heaven, 10 cents. He said, "This is different. I got to find out." He said, "Preacher, can you explain this to me? Everywhere else, these calls to heaven are $10, but here at 10 cents. How do you explain that?" He said, "That's easy, son. In South Carolina, calls to heaven are local calls." Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. In a moment, we are going to cut the ribbon, but for those of you that can join us later, you'll be touring the second and third floor. And if you weren't able to, we wanted to give you a little peek directly from our lead designer, Tazara Harper, who can't be here today, and from Cheecham Fletcher Scott, our architects. And they did a wonderful video that gives you a peek onto the second and third floor.
It's kind of unreal, really, when you first have a vision for something and then you see it built just like you imagined.
We needed this space to be really cool, really up and coming.
We knew we had to do something that was going to blend in with the historic nature of Aiken.
And really knock that out of the park so it fit within Aiken. But when we came around that corner and we didn't have to so much follow the rules, we had to find a way to seamlessly blend that together.
As you turn the corners and as you go in the back, the glass gets bigger and gets more modern.
I thought it would be a lot cooler if it was modern mid-century instead of mid-century modern. And just tried to blend it all into this sort of new style.
It's more office space on the top 2 floors for SRNL.
We knew the first floor was going to be a public space, a civic space. It was going to host business events.
USC Aiken is going to have a presence, and the relationship between USC Aiken and SRNL shows a commitment to the future.
The building had to be designed so that we could open up the doors in that lobby area, and that space doubles in size. We knew we were going to have this very industrial open ceiling. It's not a great acoustic space. We came up with this idea that we would create bow beams on the ceiling. They're made out of felt, but they look like they're made out of wood. We were able to take something that was a problem and turn it into the feature of the room. There's so many different aspects, from the finishes to the ceilings, the lighting, and then you put the furniture in and the artwork up on the walls, and everything it's just chef's kiss.
From the early meetings with the client, through the construction process, through my team and our consultants, it was just a delightful experience. Couldn't be happier with how it turned out.
We built something that would stand the test of time. Hopefully people will say in 100 years, we need to do more buildings downtown Aiken that looks like this one.
Let's give them a round of applause. arrive at the moment where we've gathered to celebrate the official dedication of the Tom Young Center for Research and Innovation. If Jim Tootson could join us, he is the president and CEO of the Aiken Chamber of Commerce, to cut the ribbon this afternoon. I'd also like to invite Governor McMaster, Senator Tom Young, Mayor Teddy Milner, Stuart Beadenbow, members of the Aiken City Council, members of the Aiken County Legislative Delegation, representatives from Savannah River National Laboratory, USC Aiken, and the Aiken Corporation Board of Directors. And if that doesn't show that this was a collaboration, I don't know what does. If you could join us at this time up front, please.
He did a great job. Someone to hold the ribbon. There's going to be a big crowd. All right. So holders, make sure you guys hold that nice and tight. Tom, open the scissors. Hold them over the ribbon. Hold that up a little tighter. Sure. All right. We're going to take a couple still photos. So everyone look at the camera. All right, and then on the count of three, give it a nice hard snap. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
As we conclude today's dedication ceremony, it is my pleasure to introduce our final speaker, Chairman of the Board in Aiken Corporation, Mr. Arthur Buzz Rich, for our closing remarks.
Oh, excuse me.
Wow, Aiken, what a great day this is. We've been looking forward to this day for 3 years. I was going to take my couple minutes just to thank a few people, and Tom Young and others have done most of that for me, so I'll be very brief. But on behalf of the Aiken Corporation, we are thrilled to be the caretakers of this building, and that's what we are as caretakers. This building is for you, it's for all of us, for the community, and we'll take good care of it. And I'm thrilled to have the building named after Tom. Aiken Corporation has been talking about this for quite some time. Of course, Tom, just before the meeting, I went up to Tom and I said, Tom, you know, there's a certain risk to naming a building after living persons. So Heather, you and the girls were counting on you to keep this guy alive. So we don't want his name coming off the building. So many people to thank. Most of them have already been thanked. Governor McMaster for your support, the legislative delegation. I know there was a lot of competition for those dollars, and so we know you guys fought hard for it, so we really appreciate your efforts on that. Mayor Milner and council, Aiken Corporation has been working with you for 31 years, and I've been on it for the whole 31 years and plan to be there for the next 31 years, so we're going to keep it going. We've got a good thing going there. Stuart and Mary have been such a huge help to us over the course of our career. Many, many hours they spent working on designs and picking out things for this building, and we appreciate that. Dan Heimerman and the staff from USC Aiken have been working with us for the past year and a half. You can see this beautiful facility that they've got over there. Take some time and go look at it. Dan and those folks have done a wonderful job of that. The Aiken Corporation Board owe so much to you guys. Thank you, especially the executive committee, and a particular thanks to ex officio member, former president of the Chamber, David Jameson, who has spent countless hours over the last couple of years working with me and our board on putting the plans for this building together, David, so thank you so much for your help. Jeter Fletcherman Scott and Alan Batzler, I didn't know either one of these, the search committee. We looked around and boy, did we make a good choice. I mean, look at this facility, look what the design is, you know, and it's hard to believe it was a cold January morning last January, a little over a year ago, that we were standing here under a tent and pouring down rain and sweaters, breaking ground, and look where we are today. So you guys have just worked seamlessly together and just done a fantastic job with it. And Mark Choster has really been the glue that kind of held it all together. So Mark, thank you for your help with that. The representatives from the lab have been wonderful to work with, and working with the design and putting together. They've just been fabulous. And finally, two people who've been mentioned briefly, but I want to make special recognition to, is the former lab director, Vahid Mahidi, and his assistant director, Sharon Mayer. I believe they're both here today. When we started working with this, those two individuals had they knew that they needed more space for the National Laboratory and they needed to put it somewhere, but they had the vision and the desire to put this facility in downtown Aiken area. They wanted the lab to be a part of our community. You know, instead of just being out there behind those locked gates out at the site, they wanted it to be here. They wanted it to be in the downtown location. So their employees, they would be part of our community. They would hopefully be eating in our restaurants and shopping in our shops to improve our downtown. And without their vision and their determination to make that happen, we may have had this building, but I'm not sure it would have been in downtown Aiken. So I want particular thanks to Vahid and Sharon for all of their work on that. This concludes our session. As has already been mentioned, take the advantage to see the second and third floor particularly, because it's going to be locked up like Fort Knox after the lab gets in there. You're not getting in there. So take your time and do that, please. That concludes our meeting. Thanks so much.